Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is one lady who lives in Saudi Arabia who was giving her testimony. Of course, her testimony is very touching, and of course, because she speaks in Kenyan language, I will have to translate it for you. So she says that she went to an agency, as the protocol is. Of course, she did registration, and they were taken for training for, of course, the house manager work. So upon completion of the training, of course, the air ticket was ready, and of course, upon reaching the Saudi Arabian airport, of course, the sponsor came, her bearing in mind that she's coming for the house manager's work as a house manager, but she found out that it was not so. So she was being brought in as a slave. So her testimony continues by saying, and I quote, "Hi Kenyans, I am your fellow Kenyan working in Saudi Arabia. I was promised a good salary and my security could be guaranteed as I was working in Saudi Arabia. Little did I know that I was being brought in as a slave and they were not my sponsors. So the agency that I came with, of course, they were given a lump sum of 500,000 shillings, almost 500 to 600,000 shillings, converting into Saudi Arabian currency, that is 20,000 riyal. So they gave me, of course, they started mistreating me. They gave me a lot of work to do in more than 2 buildings, that is 3 buildings per day, and she was alone. So due to the extreme work along the hours of the day, she started having back pains. As a result, of course, she tried to communicate with her bosses to relieve her, at least give her a day break, that is, so that she can relax and of course feel better. But in contrary to what she had expected, she was being given some pain relievers. So as time went by, the family brought in 3 men, of course, into the family. The 3 men were family members, and of course they started mistreating her, of course beating her like a kid. They started assaulting her, of course sexually, and of course she refused. But as she kept on refusing, she was facing more troubles as she was refusing. Of course, she tried to communicate with the agency that brought her into Saudi Arabia, but most of the time the efforts were not bearing any fruits. But later on, she met the manager of the agency, and they communicated. The lady says that the manager was convincing her to go back, but due to the tough times she was going through, of course, she told the manager that if you force me to go back there, it will